Nina Turner and Howard Dean, who is currently a candidate for DNC chair, were on MSNBC with Chris Matthews, and they were discussing Tulsi Gabbard's meeting with President-elect Donald Trump. And during his interview, Howard Dean tried to slip in a little implication about Tulsi Gabbard that was just untrue, that he made up on the spot. And thankfully, Nina Turner called him out.
Let me be clear. I will never allow partisanship to undermine our national security when the lives of countless people lay about. There's a woman, a politician, Kelsey, who is very anti-intervention, like yourself, about this Middle East thing. She's against the whole regime change number. And now she's going there with a way of maybe saying, maybe we can cut a deal with Russia. Maybe there is a way to somehow end the bloodshed in Syria and keep us out.
Well, I mean,
that's what she believes.
She's an interesting person, and the people from Hawaii basically have her tabbed as extremely ambitious with flexible principles.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, she was a lefty for Bernie, and now she's talking about running against Mazie Hirono, who's a left-wing or liberal senator from Hawaii. So who knows what this is all about? You know, I mean, if the
what's in it for Trump?
That's a very good question. Maybe he wants to be seen as reaching out to Democrats. Just to get back to the Rudy thing for a minute, you know how this game is played. For all we know, Rudy's floating his own name, and then it's coming back around.
Yeah, but he met with him again this weekend.
Well, because he's close to Trump.
Well, they floated the idea of DNI for him. The Director of National Intelligence, that's not as high level as Secretary of State.
Right.
So they're hurting him a little bit.
The question is, why is it foreign policy? This is a guy with a lot of domestic, but not much.
Well, I think I'm going to talk more about this at the end of the show. I think this is one reality show we've never seen before, this Trump parade of elephants. It's right out of Ringling Brothers. It is a show like we've never seen, and he's the ringmaster. Anyway, Howard Dean, thank you, sir. Yes, Senator.
Well, Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard is a combat veteran, so I got to say that she has been true to her heart and what she believes in, and I think it was very smart of her to take the invitation of President-elect Trump and put people over politics. So I don't agree with the governor and that comment he made about the Congresswoman.
So he said people in Hawaii have her tagged as extremely ambitious with flexible principles. What are you trying to suggest there, Howard Dean? And I like how Chris Matthews said, really?
Really? Really? Really?
He didn't even buy your bullshit. And Chris Matthews is pretty damn gullible, but he did not buy the bullshit you were selling there because, you know, it was pretty evident that you just made that up. Who said that? Which people in Hawaii are saying this about Tulsi Gabbard? Because I don't think that anyone can say that. If anything, she's shown, in spite of the disagreements that I have with her, that she's very receptive to public opinion, that she is listening to the progressive constituency of the Democratic Party. So I don't know where you're getting this from, and that's because you pulled it out of your ass. And again, let me read the quote back. People in Hawaii have her tagged as extremely ambitious with flexible principles. Doesn't this sound familiar to you, Dean? Doesn't this kind of sound like the candidate who you endorsed during the primaries? Now, look, I'm really glad that Nina Turner actually came to Tulsi's defense, because if you disagree with Tulsi Gabbard for substantive reasons, that's great. But don't question her ethical standards when you endorse one of the most corrupt candidates to ever run for president. And again, look, in the midst of his little media tour to promote his candidacy to be the DNC chair, he's done more than enough to prove that he's unqualified to be the next DNC chair. Because think about the implications of this. He's trying to implicitly slander Tulsi Gabbard, yet Tulsi Gabbard is someone who might actually run for president in 2020. If you don't remember, we had this debacle during the Democratic primary where the DNC chair was very biased, didn't like Bernie Sanders, and tried to rig the primary against him. So you're already displaying your dislike for Tulsi Gabbard, a progressive. So if you're a DNC chair, why should we believe that you're not going to do what Debbie Wasserman Schultz did and rig the primary against Tulsi Gabbard? We have no reason to believe that because you toe the party line no matter what. You're a partisan hack, and you don't really care or know what progressives want. You've disqualified yourself by making that statement because Article 5, Section 4 of the DNC Charter mandates neutrality from the DNC chair. How can we expect you to be neutral if you don't like Tulsi Gabbard? You think she has flexible principles. That's what many people are saying in Hawaii. You just disqualified yourself right there. You gave us every reason to believe that you're going to be biased and rig the primary against candidates who you dislike. You're done. Wrap it up. You're done. Go home. You just disqualified yourself. If you can't abide by the DNC's own charter like Debbie Wasserman Schultz, then you're done. Because look, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, she violated the DNC charter, and now the DNC is faced with a class action lawsuit. Do you honestly think they need another class action lawsuit when you get in and do the exact same thing as Debbie Wasserman Schultz? Is that what the Democratic Party needs? More class action lawsuits against them, Howard Dean? And furthermore, you're a lobbyist. So I just don't understand why you think you have the answers when you're so out of touch and when you sold out your principles. There was a time when you were, in fact, a progressive and where you were able to really galvanize millennial voters or younger voters, and you sold out. You became a lobbyist. You became a shill for the establishment. You became a shill for special interests. And now you're slandering progressives, and that was the biggest reason why Hillary Clinton lost, was because she turned away the base and split the base, and now you're showing us that you're going to do the same thing. So Howard Dean should withdraw his candidacy for DNC chair. So Howard Dean should withdraw his candidacy for DNC chair.